This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. What's up, Bruce?
Jody, it feels like it's been so long.
I know, what has it been? Weeks, a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. It's I guess, we should apologize, everyone. Sorry, we learned the hard way that getting old sucks because we both ended up getting sick with different things.
Oh yeah. Yay, life.
I had talked about it, I think, on previous episodes.
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, I had an ear infection that I got medication for, thought it was going away. It actually started to get better, and then it came back with a vengeance and just like laid me out. And so I had to go back to the doctor, but getting into the doctor is its own challenge.
Oh yeah.
And so I finally did that and got something, and now I'm about 90%.
Okay.
I'm wearing headphones again, so that's a positive sign.
Did that hurt to wear headphones before, or just?
Yes. So
okay.
it hurt.
Like the weird pressure.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure, and it felt like there was something in my ear because there was a whole lot of something in my ear, So it was all the bad stuff. And finally, of course, by the time I was able to get to the doctor, it was starting to get better again.
That's how
but
it works.
I thought, okay, let's just get this, take the medication, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I don't know where, but I got food poisoning. I have never experienced this in my life. So I was actually very scared that first night, because it was just like after middle of the afternoon, I felt fine. All of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna throw up right now. And like, I don't normally, if I'm that sick, I like get a little warning, like, oh, my tummy's a little weird or whatever.
Right.
And it's not like it just happens and I can't control it. I'm like, I'm gonna go do this thing quick and I'll,
right.
But no, it was like, you need to throw up now, go do. And it was just all afternoon, and I was like, what the hell happened? And then I had a crazy fever all night, and I just I was like, what the hell did I get? I was like, is this a new COVID? Is this a monkeypox thing? I don't know what the hell.
Right.
Is this the new thing that's going around? Who knows?
Ooh.
But yeah, and then, slowly but surely tried to, eat food again. But yeah, it was a lot of thanks to my friends for dropping off Gatorades and chicken noodle soup and all that stuff. They were definitely a lifesaver. So shout out to my friends.
Nice.
Definitely appreciated that, because when you can't eat anything, you're weak, you're dizzy, you can't do anything. I'm like,
oh yeah, it takes it out of you.
I'm like, how am I supposed to go get this stuff? I can't even really stand up for very long.
Right.
Certainly can't be driving anywhere.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah. So I'm pretty good now. Like I'm sticking to pretty plain foods still.
Right.
I had a friend that wanted to like get me tacos, and I was a little nervous about, like you said, playing a stomach roulette or whatever. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, day 4 of whatever, and I'd been kind of keeping foods down, and yeah, it was a rough night again that night, just trying to hold on to those tacos. But yeah, I'm, soups and crackers and plain foods for a little while.
Yeah, good idea. Better safe than whatever the alternative is.
Yes, whatever was happening before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And drinking kombucha and getting my probiotics back in there and trying to get my gut back in order.
Right. So this episode of Heavy Conversation is old guys and their maladies. Yes. Here's talking about what ails us. So yeah. No, not really. Not
my
really.
back.
Yes.
No,
right.
No.
My back, my legs. Yep. Yeah.
It was definitely an experience.
Yeah. I was feeling a little better, toward the end of the weekend. And so I was able to, they do this cool thing in Portland, maybe in some other cities, but I know specifically about it here. It's called Sunday Parkways, and basically what they do is in different parts of the city throughout the summer, they will close down certain streets and make a route that goes from, you know, different parks to basically from park to park to park, and they close down the streets so that cyclists, you know, I mean, anybody on a bike, pedestrians, whatever, people not driving cars can get out there and they can use the streets to go to these different things. And so they do events, and they have like food trucks at each park and all these kind of cool things. And they hadn't done it in a couple of years because of COVID. So we were able to get out. I was able to get out with my family, excuse me, and actually do the thing. And so it was fun to be able to go out and do some of that and kind of ride around. And I guess the idea behind the Sunday Parkways thing is, I guess it's taken from like a European city that that does something similar, where they're trying to show people what it would be like if you didn't have cars, you know.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they do that quite I don't know if it's in Paris or somewhere in France, but I know they're doing a lot of that stuff.
And it was a lot of fun, and there were a ton of people out. It was really cool. They have people all along the route that are they're volunteers, and they're there to keep things moving, make sure that everybody's okay, and to direct traffic, actual cars in those neighborhoods, you know, through or around. And so there were a few places where, you know, cars were coming up, and that was kind of an issue, but they handled it really well and got through. I saw later that there was an irate driver that had to get escorted through. So there was that.
Not in my street.
Right, exactly. All of that aside, I mean, they do a really good job of letting you know that this thing is happening before it happens.
Oh yeah, so, I remember when I lived out in that neighborhood, it was all over the place.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, our this side of Portland is East Portland, where I live is it's not the part of Portland that you come to Portland for, you know. When you're visiting Portland, you're generally not coming to East Portland, and that's fine. But you know, there are some hidden gems out here, and it's a cool community, and a lot of things that you just don't get to see. So it's fun to see these kind of things happen out here, you know, for us to be able to kind of do that and all get together. And they've done a lot of that this summer, which has been really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to get out and explore your community, your neighborhoods, see your neighbors, you know. Yeah, I think that's important for community building. And after being locked in your houses for a couple of years, it's nice to get back out there and see people in your neighborhood, reconnect, and yeah, that's good.
Absolutely. So it feels like it's beer time.
Okay, what do you got?
This week I have a beer that there's a little bit of a story with it. So I don't know, a month ago or so, whenever we were camping a lot, there was one campground that we went to, and as you're on the way there, you go through this little town called Butteville. And Butteville is basically a couple of houses and an old general store that has been fixed up, and it's amazing. It's just this coolest. It's like, it's got like a lawn outside that's almost like a beer garden kind of thing. They have really good ice cream and you know, fancy sundaes, and they have some beer. Nice. You can go inside and you can hang out in this place, and they've got like a room that's almost like a library. There's a place where
you get to check out beers, or
I wish, but
they also take this one and this
exactly. One. They also had like a chessboard up there, and my daughter had recently done this chess thing at school, and so she had learned it and was able to play a little bit. But this store is historic. Apparently it's been there for a long time, and the people who own it now have really fixed it up and everything. And so we were camping out there, and we went, you know, we stopped at this place, and I saw that they had a beer that was just for historic Butteville. And it's close to the river. So there's something along those lines. So this beer that I'm drinking is by Block 15 Brewing, and it's called Historic Butteville Sternwheeler Hazy Pale Ale. And a Sternwheeler is apparently a boat.
Okay.
Yeah. So on its label, there's a boat here, a river boat, and it looks like the woods behind it. It's a nice little drawing. On the back here, it says brewed in collaboration with Friends of Historic Butteville in the Oregon Hop House. Sternwheeler is a hazy pale ale featuring organic Anchor, 2B, and McKinsey hops, exhibiting vibrant notes of grapefruit, citrus, and pine resin. All three varietals are bred and grown in nearby Butteville at the first certified organic hop farm in Oregon. And that was actually something else that was really cool. As we were driving through, we came across a hop farm. And living here in Oregon, you would think that you would have seen hop farms before, but apparently I have not, because they have these
They're
like giant
high
structures.
Yeah.
And they grow the
what
hops.
the hell?
Totally. And they grow the hops across these things. And it was amazing. I was really impressed. So I'm guessing that was the organic hop farm out there. But let's see.
So a sternwheeler is a paddle boat with the paddle being in the stern.
Okay. And the stern is the back.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And the other thing is the aft?
The bow.
Bow. Oh wow. I don't know.
There's the bow and the stern and the aft and the port. I'm guessing it's front, back, left, right.
Yep. One of those.
One of those. The only one we know is back. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So
it's a big paddle boat.
It's good. This is an easy drinking IPA with a bit of bitterness at the end. It's I get some of that haziness, but it's not overpowering. It's definitely, at least not for me, it's not juicy. So
okay.
Which I kind of like. I'm down with a juicy IPA, but I'm also down with something that's just smooth and
down with it.
Yeah. So this is good. I did buy a 6-pack, and so I've been waiting to, be recovered enough for us to record again and actually enjoy this. And so yeah, it's really good. I like this. And a portion of the sales go directly toward the Historic Butteville fundraising project. So here's to Butteville.
Very nice. Well, since my tummy is still not great, I'm not imbibing today, but I have a polar seltzer.
Oh,
black cherry.
There we go.
It's one of my more favoritist ones. I don't know. I'm gonna just make up words now.
Nice.
Favoritist. So
more
it's just
favoritist.
Most favoritist. So seltzer water for me, and a Sternwheeler for you.
Cheers. There we go.
Oh, I can get a picture.
Oh yeah, we can.
I'm not taking chances with my stomach yet.
Safety first.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, what is going on? Camera.
Oh,
it's my first day with a camera phone, everyone. All right.
Yes. Yeah. So that's good. So you can follow along and see most of what we're drinking is specifically the beers.
Yes.
At Untapped. We have a heavy conversation beer list, and you can check that out. Jody adds all of our beers to the list. So if you hear about something that sounds good, then there you go. And I would say the Sternwheeler, if you're going camping, you're hanging out in your backyard or your garage with friends, I don't know, whatever it is you do, Sternwheeler is a good one for that kind of thing. It's I don't want to say no frills, because that sounds like I'm putting it down maybe, but I'm not. It's really easy to drink. It's just a good one.
Good. Yeah, there's over 213 items on our list right now.
Nice.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. So we're going to talk about some fat stuff now, because we got to do that
stuff.
Yep. So a few months back, I guess, they announced that Netflix announced that they were doing a Wednesday Addams series. and they showed a picture of Wednesday Addams. She looks great. It sounds like it's going to be a really cool show. I'm excited to see it. They started casting other people, and they cast Luis Guzman as Gomez Addams.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little bit of pushback on Luis as Gomez because he does not look the way that people thought Gomez should look.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of the guy that was in the last?
Raul Julia was the guy
Okay.
who was,
I was
in
like,
the
who
in the
is
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was phenomenal. I love those movies, and they
Mm-hmm.
actually, I feel like they hold up pretty well. I
Okay.
think I watched them with my kids a few years back. So and they really liked them. And as far as I can recall, it was, it was good. I mean, I remember loving those movies when I was the age that they were targeting when they came out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do with this. And isn't this a Tim Burton thing? Like, isn't Tim Burton doing this?
Oh boy, I don't know.
I'm
Let's
pretty
see.
sure. I'm pretty sure it's a Tim Burton thing. So it's going to be, everything that you expect from that.
Yes, directed by Tim Burton.
Yes, yes. And I mean, the movies, it was Raul Julia, Angelica Houston, who was phenomenal, Christopher
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd as Fester, which, I mean, the whole thing, everything was good. Christina Ricci, who is apparently coming back in
Yep.
some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was phenomenal. I think Tori Spelling was even in one of those at the summer camp. I can't remember if that was the first one or the second one.
Oh, I don't remember.
Anyway, so yeah, so people are up in arms about Luis not looking like Raul, and yeah, it's has a lot to do with his size. And these people that are complaining apparently are not aware of the origins of the Addams
Right?
family and kind of where it started, which was from the New Yorker in 1938. It was
It looks perfect.
yes, a cartoon, basically, a comic strip in the New Yorker, created by cartoonist Charles Addams. And yeah, 1938. And if you look at Gomez in the comics, this is a lot more appropriate. They're going
Mm-hmm.
for something that's true to that. And I think that's pretty cool. And obviously people are not aware of that. So yeah. If you're curious about the show, I guess it's not a remake of the Addams Family movies or shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of its own thing. And yeah, it says 8 episodes. They'll follow Wednesday Addams as a student at Nevermore Academy, and she tries to learn how to master her psychic ability. So
Wow.
she's solving a supernatural mystery that embroiled her parents 25 years ago. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm down. I'm excited to see it. I think I mean, Luis Guzman's great in everything that he's in. So
Oh yeah.
I am all about that. And the picture that they put out, I loved. I think he looks great. This is it's what I would hope for. So more than I would hope for. And that's the great thing about stories, is you can have so many different people and try so many different things. So
Mm-hmm. It's just a superficial, yeah. People are used to the past movies and they want it to be exactly like that. And like it looks more like the original comic than any of the other ones. So I mean, what is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Right. And we haven't even mentioned it yet, but Morticia is played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, which is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like it's in good hands. I mean, the fact that they don't like the way that he looks is, it's emblematic of other things that are issues, and
Right.
probably a little bit of cluelessness as to the origins. So too bad to those people.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have
It's
a
good.
date that it releases? Do they have that yet? I don't. Fall of 22. So okay,
Like,
fall. There we go.
just in time for our favoriteest season. Normally,
Yes.
my favoriteest season of
Yes.
like spooky shows and fall leaves and crisp air.
I want to go back and watch the movie again now, because the parents' relationship in that movie it's so great. And it's just it was played so over the top and just like ridiculous and amazing. I loved it. And I do remember, like I said, watching that and just being like, okay, this is good. So
I always loved Morticia, how she was always, when she was gardening, she was always cutting the roses off of the roses, like the flowers.
right.
That was what she was doing. She was cutting the flowers off of the roses. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, some of the shots in that were really great too, where they do like the close-ups on her face, and the light was just
the
kind of
lighting
like,
is just like right on her face, and that's it. Yeah.
just like on her eyes, and just like so good.
And the
So
cheekbones and the jawline on her, she's amazing.
yes. So you should check it out. There's a trailer out there if you're interested, so you can see that. It's the trailer and the promo art. You can see for yourself what they're going for, and you can definitely find some of those comic strips out there so that you can see what the character originally looked like, and how they're kind of continuing that with this show. So I think
I'm excited
it's
for
good.
it. Yeah, it's nice to see different representation in popular culture, things like that. So
right,
it's gonna be good, y'all.
Yep, it is. So we've done this for the last few episodes, where I get a lot of pitches through Chubster, a lot of PR stuff, and here's another one that is fairly relevant to us. It says, survey says doing these things before drinking alcohol makes you a smart drinker.
All right, let me write this down for when I start drinking again.
Yes. So this came to Chubster from a publication called Talker, which is talker.news. So if you want to check that out, you can do that. It says a survey of 2,000 people 21 and over looked at exactly what makes a smart drinker, and found that 65% of those who drink alcohol claim they've mastered knowing what and how much to drink. The survey finds that a smart drinker paces themselves, 49% of the people said this, at about 2 of those drinks per hour, and smart drinkers also choose low volume alcoholic beverages. So 27% of the people surveyed said that. 3 and 5 actually preferred drinks with a lower alcohol percentage because it helps them drink at a better pace. 61% said that. So it's things that kind of seem like no brainers if you're setting out to make a long night of it, I guess. You can kind of hit on those things. And it also says, let's see, here's a couple other things. Eating a meal before drinking is part of smart drinking. And of course, the one that we've all heard, be sure not to mix different types of alcohol, because that can make things go bad quickly.
Oh yeah. I always try to stick to beer if I'm doing beer, or vodka if I'm doing vodka. I just kind of stick with that.
Yeah. So yeah,
doesn't always happen.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's you just kind of go with it, and suddenly you're trying something else.
And also, as a smart drinker, making sure you're coordinating a safe ride home.
Yes,
that's a good thing. Knowing how alcohol affects your body, and knowing what other ingredients are in the drinks that might affect your body. So yeah,
knowing when to stop, when those old commercials, know when to say when. Well,
Mhm.
that's very important. So yeah.
My win is always a little past when it should have been when. It's like I
Yeah.
need to have a when the one right before that one.
Right.
Because it's
right.
like by the time the drinks have actually caught up to me, by the time I'm done, I'm like past, and then
Yes. I've definitely, as I've gotten older, I've gotten to the point where I know when to call it,
Yep.
and I
And
just can't do as much anymore. And I don't want
Mhm.
to. It's not the same as when you're,
Yeah, I don't have time for the
23,
hangovers.
right?
Yeah.
You're invincible and you can do
Mhm.
anything and recover the next
Yeah, I've
morning.
definitely I like to have a hazy IPA, but they're normally the percentage is higher. So
Yeah.
I'll have maybe one or two of those, and then I'll switch to something lower alcohol, like a Pilsner or something, or
Right.
a lighter beer, because I'm like, all right, if I keep, because I'm like, oh, I love these, and I'm like, oh, I can't drink as many of those as I can these lighter beers,
Right.
but I don't always remember that.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I'm just drinking beer, and I can drink a lot of those.
Yeah. Yeah. It deceives you sometimes. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
Well,
that's all I've got.
yeah,
So I'm glad we got to do this again. I'm glad you recovered, Jody, and you're feeling better. And
absolutely. I am too.
yes.
I'm looking forward to flavorful foods soon.
Yes. And speaking of looking forward, we've got some fun things coming up the next few weeks. This
Absolutely.
episode actually marks our 200th episode of Heavy Conversation. And
Yes.
we had originally planned to do kind of a big shindig for number 200, but then we both got sick, and it basically just like wiped everything. So our celebration may have to be at 201, 202, or 205, but
It's happening.
right, who needs the reason to celebrate, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So there we go. Either way, I'm just glad to be back to somewhat normal and good to go.
All right. Well, thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Jody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
Podcast.